Podcast. What's up, guys? Welcome to the I Don't Get It podcast. This is Naz.
This is Ashley.
Lauren.
And we are joined by, the list of
Dun-da-da-da.
Dun-da-da-da. Willam, who is an actor, a recording artist, a drag queen, an entrepreneur. What else, Willam? You're like everything,
Entrepreneur.
I feel like. Entrepreneur.
Hooker. Anything. If you got a check, I got a talent.
So I feel like you're most known for being on the 4th season of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Indeed.
But also you were the drag queen, the only drag queen. Well, actually all the drag queens mattered, but to me, in A Star Is Born.
Thank you.
And you have so much going on. Like you have a podcast, you've been on multiple shows.
I'm going to be on House Hunters on HGTV.
No way.
Stop. Is that when
drag.
you just got your new place?
Oh my
We're
God.
obsessed with
HGTV
House
is
Hunters.
always
Do you see that?
on.
Girl, it's the channel. It's my life.
It's our life too. When did you start getting into it? Because I was like, I turned 30 and all of a sudden HGTV was on all the time.
I've always been into it. My parents used to renovate a lot. My dad was a contractor. I love knocking down stuff. I love building stuff. I love taking apart stuff. I'm really good at hair.
Okay, but tell us more about like all
Also
your
the twin
projects
show.
and
We
everything
didn't talk
you've
about
done.
the twin
Yeah,
show.
so the way Willam and I
They
know
were
each
on
other.
The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Or
Bachelor.
Got it.
So the way Willam and I know each other is I produced Happily Ever After with the twins on Freeform, the spinoff show, and
Yes.
Willam, you were their neighbor, and so that's when we first met.
That was so much fun. Haley and Emily were so cute.
Yes. They're the hottest.
Aren't they so hot?
Yeah.
So you
Pilates.
weren't actually their neighbor, right?
Yeah, I lived near them in LA.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, reality.
But wait a second about the House Hunters episode is because I'm so fascinated. So did you pick the house and then they picked 2 random houses that you went to? Because spoiler alert, guys, House Hunters is totally fake.
Well, I'm so excited for everyone to tune in and see. But I definitely toured a lot of properties, and the ones that I saw, I actually looked at.
Okay, and they're ones that you thought were top contenders.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay.
That's so cool. Okay, well, let's talk about A Star Is Born.
Sure.
So tell us how that came about.
Star Is Born came about because I got a call from my manager, went in for an audition, went back for another audition, and then they told me I didn't get either of the parts I auditioned for, but there was another one, and then went through wardrobe and did all that stuff, and then they said, guess what? The parts have been cut. And then a week later, they said the parts are back in. Then I went to film, and then they liked what I did, I guess, so they added another scene. And then I did that, and then the movie came out.
When
and it's
you
cool.
when you went to the audition, did you know it was for a big movie, A Star Is Born? Did they even
Yes.
say?
I knew it was for A Star Is Born, and they told me to go as a dead Marilyn Monroe, and I did like the sickening makeup, and they loved it, and I'm gonna find the picture because then you'll all be like, oh my God. And I thought I did really great, and they told my manager I did amazing, but then I didn't get it, and then.
Were you so devastated? Was this your first major movie role that you've done, or have you been in other like big movies?
I've been in other stuff, but I've also been cut from stuff. Like I was in the movie SWAT with Colin Farrell, and I had a cute part, and then they cut me from that. Can't find the picture.
So
But
never get your hopes up. Even if you get the part.
Never talk about something until the baby is out of the oven type of thing. You know what?
Which
Got
is
it.
crazy because
Yeah.
when I met you, you told me that you guys were shooting A Star Is Born, and I had no idea while he was simultaneously shooting the twin show. None of us knew. Which
Yeah,
is
that was
so
like January or
insane.
February, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
2017.
2017. Yeah,
Or May. I don't know.
that's so.
I auditioned
crazy.
in January and we shot in May. That was it.
Did you watch like the previous Stars Borns, like all 3 of them?
I saw the one from the 30s. I saw the one from the 50s and the 70s. Yeah.
Okay. You have like the most epic line of everybody in that bar, don't you? Aren't you the one that says like, what? I don't even know what it. I just know the moment. I don't know the
I don't
word.
care. Just look at me while you do it.
Yes.
Yeah, it gets a good laugh in the theater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
So
Because
good.
everyone's singing the same fucking
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, right? Like, just fuck me. Just sing your guitar, Bradley.
Did you feel that? Like you felt like that too.
It's
like you
weird.
meant it.
Yeah. Like, because honestly, he's a great singer. And if someone's just in a room singing to you and his Bradley Cooper, and I mean, he's fucking cool. He's from Philly. I'm from Philly. We hit it off with that. And it was really cool improving with him, because that was all improv. The boobs, all of that. It was because he was the director, so he knew where to steer it, where to go. He trusted the people that he hired to do a good job, Shangela and I and the other drag queens. So it was like, it was an easy job.
So did you come up with that line on your own?
All of it, yeah.
Well, that's
Oh my God. See, I just said it was like the most like memorable scene. See, I didn't remember the words, but I remember how I felt about it, because I felt that, because everybody was like thinking the same thing.
And that's what you want with any like drag queen or like any kind of piece of art that you witness or see. You may not remember like what wig they wore or like what exactly they said, but you want to remember, you want someone to leave feeling good and remembering that. And most people leave Stars Born thinking, oh my God, that was so epic. I cried, I laughed. And like the only thing that people say to me is, I wish there was more drag queens, you know? But like, it's always good to want more than to have too much, because drag
Always
can
leave them
overwhelm a
wanting
project
more.
really quick.
Well,
Always
especially
leave them
Shangela and me.
wanting more.
When I saw it, because I had no idea you
Didn't
were
you
in
text
it.
me right after?
Yes, and I
Yeah.
started crying, and my friend was like, "This isn't a sad part," and I'm like, "No, my friend, that's A Star Is Born. Like, I know this person." And so what was going through my head the entire time, because I was so shocked, is this is Willam. So you didn't have any lines. I feel like, I want to know, like, at first, did they give you lines? And then they were like, no, you're just way better on your own. Let's just let you do your own thing. Because every single moment that you have in that movie, I truly feel like just came out of your head. I don't feel like someone wrote that for you.
Honestly, in the auditions, they asked me to improv a little bit, but there was like some script. And then when we got there, I had my 4 lines from the script memorized. And we get onto set, and we just realized, okay, Bradley just tells us to start like playing and like, this is what I'm going to go here and blah, 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 blah. And y'all just, do what you do. And I was like, oh, okay. And that was how basically Shangela and I figured out that we were not going off this script anymore.
Yeah.
And once they like said, go ahead, you can't take it back from a drag queen. Once you tell us, we go ham, we go in. We didn't railroad the other girls, but we were definitely Chatty Cathy's. And I came up with the sign my boobs thing, and I literally ran off set. And I was like, someone give me a Sharpie. And you hear it in the movie. I'm like, wow, that's my voice just yelling at whatever PA I saw. I was like, give me a Sharpie.
Yes, I remember that.
And then he came in and he signed my boobs. And then they said cut, and I hear Video Village like erupt with laughter. And then I'm hoping, please let this wipe off in between takes, because it's like a Sharpie on rubber, because those titties are dishwasher safe. And it did. It wiped off, and I was like, the comedy gods are smiling upon me.
Oh my God. But wait, but why did they cut the drag queens out and then put them back in? Because I want to talk about that, because Gaga had something to do with that, right?
Yeah, I know that I was told that she fought for us, which is cool. But I think it just had to do with story and streamlining it and making her more of a server or a waiter in the script. And maybe something didn't fit. But I'm glad it got added back in, because it certainly made my life a lot sweeter.
Oh, it's such a beautiful scene. And like you said, like that movie, I've never really felt so moved by a movie before. Like I left and it was like heart-wrenching and I couldn't stop crying, but the next day I just couldn't wait to see it again. It was so weird.
And
but
I can't bring myself to watch it again.
I just
It's that
I
kind of
can't get
emotional
over
porn, yeah.
I can't emotional porn. Like I just can't believe I loved that a piece of art made me feel like the way it did. Like it affected me so much. So it's tax season and it's time to figure out, how much I'm going to put in investments. And I love this app, Robinhood. It's an investing app that allows you to buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, cryptos, all of it commission free. And while some brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, Robinhood doesn't charge any commission fees. So you can trade stocks and keep all your profits. Plus, there's no account minimum deposit needed to get started. So you can just start investing at any level.
It's simple. It has an intuitive design, and Robinhood just makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. And I am 100% a newcomer, so it's made my life 10 times easier. And they also have these few easy to understand charts and market data, and they place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. It's like you're literally 4 taps away from making money. And you guys can also view stock collections such as 100 most popular.
With Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio. Discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right moment to invest. Robinhood is giving our listeners of I Don't Get It podcast a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at getit.robinhood.com.
What was it like the moment you met Lady Gaga?
I've met her before. So Stars Born, it was just seeing her again. But the first time I met her was in probably 2008 or 2009.
So Just Dance phase.
Yeah, she was literally performing at what is the chapel now. It was Here Bar on Robertson.
No, next to the Abbey?
Uh-huh, and I was the one that had to get all the go-go boys down to be like, this girl is performing, blah, 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 on these little like milk crate go-go boxes and I was shocked because she turned it. And like we've had a couple good girls throughout the years. Like I saw Kat Graham like kill it. I've seen a couple really amazing pop girls on their way up like doing sickening things at the gay bars. And Gaga was probably the best that I've ever seen do that. And then I saw her again at Mickey's during her applause phase. And we were literally just chilling upstairs at Mickey's, and she asked if I wanted a picture, and I was like, wow, that's weird of her to like offer, like, because I never want to be that girl, you know, rather have the experience than like the material.
Yeah, same.
You know, just let someone be normal. And she was cool, so I didn't want to infringe like that. But for her to offer, and then every time she's seen me since, she's always offered. And then
Oh my God.
People could take that different ways, though. Like,
Offered
she
a
wants
picture?
a picture.
Well, no, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm always in drag, so it's always like one of those things. And she loves us. She genuinely loves us, and it's like, I think it's her way of like giving back or whatever. Like she shouted me out from her concert in Vegas. Like for someone to do that in the middle of her set, like to yell my name on New Year's Eve, and I'm
That's so cool.
I was like, August, did someone? Because my friend August was next to me. I was like, and he's like, she just, and everybody was looking at me. I was like, oh, it's really cool that she loves drag as much as she does, because I mean, she's openly, you know, used a lot of the things that drag queens do and not appropriated, because that makes it sound like she stole, and she didn't. But like, she's so fucking cool. And on set, there was one point where someone was behind me, like rubbing my shoulders like that. I turn around and it's her. and I'm like, girl, watch my hair. And it was literally like just kikiing, and like we were talking about like Broadway and like just everything. She never went back to her trailer in between the takes, and we were there for like 2 long days. Wow. She was so chill.
I love it.
So
she's everything.
So
I
many
wanted
people
my
go
childhood
back
idol to be.
and they're like, oh, I knew her when she was nothing, and she just like doesn't deserve all this fame and shit. And then you hear her now, and it's like she's obviously a very nice person who deserves where she is.
My friend was her pianist, her rehearsal pianist at NYU, and she's now a producer and a writer named Our Lady J. She produced Transparent, and she's an amazing writer.
Wow.
But people that have known her for a while pretty much say that she's the same. And like the few interactions I've had over the years with her, she's always been the chillest person. I think she goes into a room and she looks for the biggest hair, and then she figures it's a drag queen, and then beelines. Because every time it's like
friend.
always straight over towards me. I never wear flat hair anymore.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little bit of dirt on how Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper would act together off camera? Not like insinuating anything or anything, but
yeah, from what I witnessed, it was all Bradley was always in Video Village or acting. He was very busy on set.
What's Video Village? Like watching
Video Village is-
watching
yeah.
the screens.
It's
and
like
stuff?
where all the monitors are.
Yeah.
It's
where
like a
all the people
control
with
room.
headsets sit. Yeah, basically a control room. Wherever they are, they set it up under a little tent and they call it a village. Gaga told me in between one of the takes that Bradley liked 2 of my jokes, but to switch them around. And, you know, she was kind of like an inside track to like everything that he was thinking before he told me. And because that was in between a rehearsal and when we actually filmed it. And then that's just what we did the whole time. So they were very collaborative. He was kind of, from what I've heard them say in other interviews, like he was her movie coach and she was his music coach kind of. So like they were both, it's such a strong team, them together. And I mean, seeing them like re-inhabit those characters at the Oscars, it's just like a mini sequel that we know we'll never get. But just seeing them inhabit those characters one last time was so beautiful and great. And seeing the movie win an Oscar for the song. But I mean, I don't think there's anything salacious there. I met Bradley's wife and we danced at a rap party, and she's amazing. She loves drag queens too, Irina. And I don't think, for some reason, they don't make a lot of public appearances together, Irina and Bradley. And I think that's a consensus choice to like avoid the fame and all that.
Yeah.
So I mean, far be it for me to comment on a relationship I know nothing about. I mean, I'm married, but I haven't lived with my husband for 4 years, so.
You haven't lived with your husband for 4 years.
No.
So do we want to go jump to that dirt?
Yeah,
I mean, you can.
So you have been separated for 4 years now.
Yeah, he's a lawyer, and lawyers are good at two things, cocaine and lying.
Title of the episode.
Including lying about cocaine. Yeah. He had really great taste in coke, though, I will say that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why did you guys separate?
I no longer could keep up with all of the tall tales, and it was one of those things where I just couldn't. So I moved to Inglewood from a mansion in West Hollywood to Inglewood.
Wow.
Yeah,
How did you meet?
We met at a bar at Mickey's.
Where is Mickey's? Because
Mickey's
you said it twice
is
now.
8857 Santa Monica Boulevard. Right near San Vicente. It's San
love
Vicente
you
and
so
Santa Monica.
much.
I know all the bar
Yeah.
addresses because I used to book all the Go-Go Boys for him.
That's so genius.
So we met there. He came in, and my rule was if you show your dick, you get in free. And he's like 6'6", and pulled out his dick, and I was like, okay, you get a stamp.
So you were in drag.
I wasn't a drag.
You were not.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
And then he came back and he said, it's bigger now. Do you want to see it? And I said, sure.
Oh, wow.
based
And then
off-
he said, will you marry me?
And then based off of that, I told my boss I was sick and I had to leave work. And then we went and fucked in
Really?
his hotel for like 10 hours.
Like it was that electric in that moment. You're like, I'm
oh,
leaving
yeah.
right now.
When I see a dick like that, I'm not letting it go. Bye. It was the biggest dick I had ever seen on a white guy.
Can you describe it?
Sure. My hand didn't fit around it. If you make like a circle with your index finger
Yeah.
and your thumb, it wouldn't close. So that's how thick it was.
Okay.
It was a good size.
Do you think girth or length is more important when it comes to dicks?
Oh my God. Length can feel stabby sometimes.
Right.
Girth can feel groany. You're like, oh. But too much length, you're
I
like,
totally
oh.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's a different
Length for-
guttural
yeah.
reaction.
It's like a poke.
But
like
both.
A Facebook
Oh. Yeah. Exactly.
Gergie
Yeah.
knows.
Uh-huh.
Like the pencil dicks hurt the most.
Yeah.
Ashley
the
doesn't
worst.
understand.
Those are the guys that think they're all that just because they have a long dick. It's like, but
exactly.
where's
It's
the
like,
girth,
"Ugh,"
honey?
and I'm like, that doesn't feel good.
I've had bigger bagel bites, dear.
We want to talk to you guys about a company called forhers.com. It's this new women's wellness brand that's putting your body back in your control, because For Hers believes that women should have the opportunity to desire sex just as much as their counterpart. And it's not weird or abnormal for women to have low libido. It's actually quite the opposite. So women have been given a pat on the shoulder and ignored when it comes to giving us a solution for like this very real, very common concern. And Hers just wants us to stop doubting ourselves and reclaim the sex drive that feels best for us.
It's fought for by a woman for women. Forhers.com is helping women reclaim their sex drives and allow them to feel bold and confident. There's no need to take time to travel to the doctor. For Hers provides access to licensed doctors online who can determine if you're a candidate for a prescription medication to treat hyposexual desire disorder. And a doctor is going to evaluate you and see if you're appropriate for this prescription and prescribe you a treatment for HSDD, which can be delivered directly to your door. You don't even have to go to the pharmacy to pick it up.
For Hers has the only FDA-approved drug on the market to address HSDD for women. Whether your sex drive has changed since having kids, becoming premenopausal, or perhaps you no longer desire sex as frequently as you once did, For Hers is here to help give women an option. Let's level the playing field and reclaim the sex drive we deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can order now. Our listeners can get started today for only $29 by going to forhers.com/get it right now while supplies last and subject to doctor's approval. It's important to know that there's safety information that applies to all this, so you're going to have to go to the website for all the full details. So go to forhers, that is forhers.com/get it. forhers.com/get it. Again, that is forhers.com/get it. Restrictions apply, and you got to see the full website for details.
Are you dating right now?
There's not much time for dating.
Right, because you have so much going on.
How would
Yeah.
you even go about going on a date? Like just looking very normal, like, hey, let's go to dinner.
Oh God. Here's the other thing. I don't go to dinner before I go on a date because like if I want to get fucked, do you really want my like fucking moons over my hammy meal that I just had on your dick?
Yeah.
No. So let's find something else like putt-putt or something. Because
Okay.
You know,
That is so funny because Jonathan Vanessa was telling us about that.
He came on our podcast.
I love Jonathan. I'm friends with him.
Yeah. So he was sitting right there and he said
he
the
was
same
telling us
exact
the
thing.
entire-
It's very difficult. Y'all have vaginas, and that's super nice and just convenient because you could just be like, oh yeah, let's fuck.
Yeah.
We have to like go get a hose or
That's what
an
he
enema.
was saying.
Some guys
That's what
I
he was
know
saying,
have
yeah.
never had to clean out their butts, and I'm like, you have a self-cleaning like Maytag oven model. I hate you. But some people don't have to deal with it. They just one wipe and they're good. Or I'm like, really?
Jonathan was telling us it's like almost like an hour-long process. That's why
Shower,
I feel
step
like
out, shower, step out. I don't know.
because when
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
Everything was very. What's the word that he uses? Is like very like what's the word? The adjective that he goes. It's very cute.
Is it a cute process? I don't know.
I always felt
no.
like as a girl when you get ready, you know how fucking long that shit takes. That's why it's so offensive to me when people ghost other people. And then I didn't realize that the gay community goes through the same thing because you're taking almost just as long to get ready.
I mean, only if you want to get fucked in the ass. Tops have it easy.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you?
Honey, I am not a top. I mean, I would if like, you know, I had to.
Right.
And I have, but like, do I want it? I want dicks.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait, I'm going to ask a very naive question.
Sure.
Don't be offended.
I
I
don't
hope that,
think you
like,
can
I might
offend me.
ask a lot of naive questions, but just because I'm totally naive to it. How do you guys tell between who's like a pitcher and a catcher?
You can't
You
all the
can't?
time, but sometimes people will surprise you. And the easiest way is to ask.
Okay.
Like, hey,
They're
do you
not
want to
shy
fuck me or
about
should
it.
I fuck you?
Yeah.
And it's if you're on Grindr, it's like you can put it in your profile. It's it's pretty easy. And if you don't know, you try, and then if they don't want to, they'll tell you to stop.
Okay.
It's funny
A
because
little tongue in the ass is an easy way to get a guy to put it like that.
I was talking to my friend who's gay, and he was telling me it really sucked because he found someone that was not the same thing that he was. I think they were both like bottoms, and he's like, it really sucks because I really love this guy, but I don't feel like we're ever going to be able to fulfill ourselves sexually in life.
3 ways, lots.
Oh, that's how you get through it?
3 ways, or like just grab a double ender and go to town. Did you ever see Requiem for a Dream?
Yeah, it was the most disturbing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Ass.
That
It made me want to
freaked
be an actress.
out.
That scene in particular.
I was like, and clothes.
I loved it. And then all one-armed, I would have fucked a stump too. Jared Leto with a stump? Sure, sign me up.
Jared Leto with nothing.
a
God.
second.
Just
Jared
eyeballs.
Leto is the fucking hottest.
The hottest.
He's so hot.
My friend was his coach for Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh, really?
Goodness, no
When he had-
way.
When, of course, they let another straight man play a
Which
trans role.
I wanted to ask
Or
you.
drag queen.
Let's talk about that.
Sure.
'Cause what?
I hate it.
Yeah.
I mean,
because it's taking the opportunity from someone that could be doing
it's
it.
taking the opportunity from someone who actually does it, who could probably lend more insight, more character. Like, I couldn't get in for Dallas Buyers Club, you know?
Wow.
And that's one of those things where I'll remember forever. They wouldn't see a real drag queen for it.
Wow.
They wouldn't see trans women for it either, and it was a trans role. It's fucked up. But
Did he win the Oscar for that?
Yeah. I feel like because they
Wow.
just wanted to prove that it was difficult for him to transform, right?
I mean, hookers, trans roles, and anybody abused are Oscar bait for sure.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they wanted more Oscar bait.
I don't
they
know.
got Kanye with AIDS.
It was a great movie.
Yeah.
But I'll see. Did you ever see Romeo and Juliet, the Baz Luhrmann one?
Yeah.
Remember the afro?
Yeah.
He was great, but he just played another drag queen in a movie called Dumpling, where they actually have real drag queens too. And I'm like, well, why did the good drag part, the one with the most lines, have to go to the dude from Lost?
Right.
Like, get a real drag queen.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're here.
Yeah.
You know we're here. You
Right.
cast 2 other ones in smaller roles.
Do you feel like we're progressing in Hollywood as far as that goes? Maybe like with you now in A Star Is Born, Gaga fighting for you guys to be in the movie.
I don't know, because now it's like they have SJWs on the warpath for everything. Like, oh, this person's playing someone in a wheelchair. That's not right. You know, it's like, why didn't they get an actor who's in a wheelchair? It's like, well, sometimes roles require different things. Who knows?
Right.
Maybe they're a name. Maybe the only reason the project got made is because of them wanting to
Yeah.
play this role.
Yeah.
And it'll bring light to your plight
Yeah.
instead of, you know.
Like in A
there's-
Quiet Place, I think John Krasinski casted a girl that was,
deaf girl,
a
yeah.
deaf girl, which
Which-
I thought was great.
Me too.
That's like the Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart movie, right? He was in a wheelchair, and people were like, "Why can't another?" It's like
Oh,
because
yeah.
Bryan
Yeah.
Cranston
Exactly.
was in it.
What
Yeah.
I remember him having to talk out about that, and I was just like, wow, like this is the movie sat on the shelves for 4 years, so probably wasn't good anyway.
So bad.
It was bad. I haven't seen it.
I liked it.
But it was a remake.
Saw it?
Yeah.
It was a remake of the French movie, right?
It sat on shelves for 4 years.
It was a remake of a French movie that's like incredible.
Yeah, it was a remake of the #1 grossing ever French movie.
Wow. It definitely won foreign film that year. What was it called? The Untouchables or something?
Yeah, something like that.
You guys should Google it if you're listening. It's an incredible movie. But anyways.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where you're wondering, should straight actors not be allowed to play gay anymore? Is that going to be taboo in the future too? It's,
right. Like Darren Criss and Gianni.
Yeah, like him saying that, it's like, well, sometimes I played a lot of trans roles. In Nip Tuck, I did like 5 episodes as a trans woman who was transitioning from a man to a woman. So it was perfect that like I still looked like a man. And for the use of the story, it made more sense that I looked more like a man to the average viewer who was in the process, because if someone beautiful like Gigi Gorgeous played that role, it wouldn't have served the story and it wouldn't have made sense. What's the word? Like, it wouldn't have made sense at all, because the audience needed to know, because as soon as you see something, your brain usually always goes to either ding, ding, ding man or ding, ding, ding woman, the other side. So when they see something in the middle, it's obviously going to draw the attention.
Like one that people can't really figure out.
Since we're talking transgender, I'd love to, and I know that it's like really obvious what the difference is, but I think from you, it's helpful for listeners to hear what the difference is and what maybe the biggest misconceptions are when it comes to being a drag queen as opposed to being transgender.
Drag is something that people can take off usually, and being transgendered is something that you can't take off. I've been in drag, and people will assume, and I'll see them like stepping on eggshells around me with like the she's and the pronouns. And it's nice now that people are more in tune to knowing that they should be sensitive to that. But I don't care. I'm a he, you know?
So when you're in drag, you are a he.
I mean, I always try to call people by whatever I think they would be called, and that's usually bitch.
But, safe word to always use.
If I have a guy's name, and if my name was like Mary or Sue Ann or something, and people called me she, I wouldn't be mad. But like Willam's a guy's name, I think.
How did Willam come about? Willam the drag queen.
Willam came about because in the SAG office when I was 17 in, I think, Philly, I was signing up after I got my card on my first job when I was 16. I told them I wanted my drag name on there, and they're like, we can't really do that. And I was like, okay, we'll do Willam. And that's what.
So that is your real name.
Yeah.
It's your birth name. Are all are there any straight drag queens?
Yes. There was one named Barry Humphries who plays a character called Dame Edna. Eddie Izzard is a comedian and actor. He was in Inglourious Bastards, I think, and a bunch of other stuff.
Love that movie.
He's a self-identifying transvestite. He dresses in drag and performs in drag, but he fucks women, I think.
Okay, so can I ask a super naive question? I kind of messed up about it last year because like I used an insensitive term which I didn't know was insensitive anymore. What is the difference between transgender and transvestite?
Okay, transvestite is someone who puts on clothes of the opposite gender, usually for kicks or for employment.
And
like,
it's different than drag queen. Is it different than drag queen?
No, transvestite is kind of a synonym for drag queen.
Okay,
for sure.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Transsexual is someone who identifies as not the gender that they were born with usually.
Yeah.
Their brain identifies a different way, and then they can make steps to change their appearance
or
to
take
reflect
hormones.
that.
Totally.
Take hormones, or they can just identify that way and not change their appearance.
Okay.
Which leads to confusion, but that's the right. Obviously, and like people can do what they want with their bodies and call themselves whatever they want now, and do not tell them that they can't, because the internet will come for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
I learned that hard.
That's what happened because I was confused. I was like, I know what transgender is. Like, I know what transgender is.
Yeah.
So one of the most important things that most of us on this podcast do for our health every day is brushing our teeth, yet most of us actually don't do it properly. And if you are listening to this and you even have an inkling that this may be you, then listen up, because this is for you. So I want to tell you guys about Quip, because it's a better electric toothbrush created by dentists and designers, and it was actually designed to make brushing your teeth a lot more simple, affordable, and even, dare I say it, enjoyable. It has a sensitive sonic vibration, so it's gentle gentle enough on your sensitive gums. I have very sensitive gums because I brush too hard, and some electric toothbrushes are actually too abrasive for me.
Oh my God, it changed Jared's life when he started using it because he used to brush like a maniac. But this is just like, no, you just go glide it. And then it also has this amazing 2-minute timer.
Can we talk about this glide it? What is that?
Just like,
So-
but the 2-minute timer is also very helpful because it reminds you every 30 seconds to switch sides, which can lead to a fully clean mouth. Not just like, oh, my
Clean
right side is
front
so much
teeth.
better than my left side.
Which I appreciate because I was like the Dumbo in my bathroom singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star twice in my head.
Did you really?
For each side. Yeah, because that's how I've been doing it since I was little.
Aww.
But not anymore, thanks to Quip. They also have a multi-use cover that mounts to your mirror and it unmounts to slide over your bristles for on-the-go brushing. And the brush heads are automatically delivered on a
Right.
dentist recommended schedule every 3 months, which is so clutch, Lauren, right?
My
It's
old
just for
one, all the
$5.
bristles were like flattened, and I was like, oh, guess what? I
That's
got
not
another
the
problem.
one Jared had.
Yeah, that's why we love Quip because they're backed by over 20,000 dental professionals. It just starts at $25. And if you go to getquip.com/get it right now, you'll get your first free refill pack for free with a Quip electric toothbrush. That's your first.
We have to say, you guys, that it's like sleek and you don't have a bulky charger in your bathroom.
You don't have a bulky charger.
You just hang
Yeah.
out, you switch out the battery because our chargers are look so gnarly on the table.
Yeah, it looks like you're living in the 90s.
Again,
okay.
that's your first refill pack for free at getquip.com/get it.
Is there a difference between transvestite and drag queen? And
Well,
You got your answer.
Back in the
yeah.
day, when I was coming up, 16, 17, 18, 19, the short term for transsexual used to be transy.
Transy.
And then the short term for transvestite was the trigger warning tranny.
okay,
That's what I said.
that's what I accidentally said.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
But
Remember,
tranny's a bad word. To
yeah,
say.
now it's definitely a pejorative. But remember Project Runaway when Christian Siriano was
Yeah.
hot tranny mass, and they were airing that different time. So now we can't
Right.
say it, but back then it was more of a familial slang that we would get tossed around in a dressing room, or those that were gay could say it. But then, when the porn industry started co-opting that, and when straight people started saying it as a slur, that's when we were like,
Right.
But I was in a movie called Ticked Off Trannies with Knives. It was about 5 transgendered women, and 3 of the characters were played by trans women. And we got protested up and down by trans people, even though the trans people in it obviously agreed to it. And
Right.
it was one of those things where GLAAD came out against us.
Wow.
And we were like, what?
There's
In
3
what
trans-
world? And we're
Yeah.
telling a story about a gay bashing. It was at Tribeca, and Robert De Niro liked it, so that's all that mattered to me.
I was
Tribeca.
I
confused
think
because
mom and dad,
I'm going again this year.
they would say tranny
go,
as
that's
an
so cool.
overall thing before everything became.
so I thought tranny was short for transvestite.
It was back in the day.
See?
Okay, so I just didn't know that it was now out of date.
So
and that
it
was
became a
slur.
slur for a transsexual, which is what,
Yes.
right? Which
And
is why it's
I
not
don't want to
okay.
seem like I'm coming after Christian Siriano because I love his designs
Yeah.
and I love everything that he does, but it's the easiest example to point to. And I'm not
Right.
harping on him or anything. It was a different time. And it's not like he was saying it out of malice.
Right.
We've all seen a drag queen who's messed up from the ground up with a busted wig. And that's, that's what we would say,
Right.
HTM for. But we can't say it no more.
Okay.
But I'm glad that you're asking because, the only way conversation leads to change and change leads to better outfits. That's
Right.
what I say.
Yeah.
And you're
Oh.
obviously not asking from a point of hatred
Yeah.
or muckraking or stirring the pot.
It's really
Thank
the
you.
reason why
Yeah.
we wanted to have you on because I feel like also as straight girls we don't know much about the drag world and I want to know so much more about it because remember we put Emily and Haley in drag and I was like
Oh, yeah.
I want to do
So
this.
women can do drag,
Can
men-
anyone
yeah.
do drag, Willam?
Sure. I who am I to tell someone what they can and can't do?
But is it socially acceptable by that community for anyone to dress up in drag?
now, most of my fan base is 57% of my logistics are women. So I'm not going to tell a woman what she can and can't do. If she wants to do drag, go for it. But she will have to be a lot fiercer and work double as hard to get where a drag queen who was probably a man, because you have to prove yourself way more. Because in people's minds, especially gay men that have been drag queens for years, we're like, we were probably a lot of us were resistant at first to the thought of a woman doing drag. But then you realize, okay, there's people like Wendy Ho out there and like drag performers who were born as women, and then you're just like, anybody should be able to do it, but you have to be fierce.
Right. What I always thought was interesting is I love drag queens. I love going to drag shows. I'm from South Florida. There's a lot of them there.
Wilton Manors.
Yes. I went to Wilton Manors for my birthday once.
Yeah, girl.
And it's just always, I've always been so fascinated, and I've always been almost envious of like the confidence they have, and just, you know, like singing to like Cher, because I like love Cher and stuff. But I know that there's also a lot of people, probably mainly women, that don't like drag queens because they feel like they portray women in a bad light. And what is your thought on like those people and those thoughts? Do you know what I'm trying to say, I guess?
Yeah, I don't know many women that wouldn't like drag queens, but I know they're out there. I kind of think that women are attracted to drag queens and like drag shows because we're just like dolls that they used to play with as kids, but now that we're dressing up, we can all drink together and say bad stuff. And like we still have the same great outfits and great hair and stuff, and it's like Tyra in that like Life-Size Doll movie, you know, like that's what we are to a lot of people.
Yeah,
and I
don't watch Life-Size 2. It's so
I haven't
fucking
seen
bad.
it. Once I saw the wig that they put her in, I was like, bye. But I think that anyone that doesn't like drag queens, it's probably from a spot of fear or from not understanding it, because it's usually we're exalting women and like celebrating them when we try to look like them. It's not like we're trying to take away something that they have.
Right. And do you feel like that is the whole purpose behind it, is like to celebrate women? Like, what would you say is like the motivation in general?
Everybody does drag for different reasons. I do it for attention.
I love the honesty.
Love it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been on reality television.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Some people do it because they want to look like a woman. Some people do it because they want to showcase a talent that no one cares about when they don't wear a wig.
That sucks.
Think of how many gay men want attention and they don't get it as a man, so they have to put on a wig.
Yeah.
They make the choice to. They don't have to.
When did you make the choice that you wanted to start getting into it?
The first time I was paid for drag, I was 16, but I'd been doing it since I was 13. Rocky Horror, my dad let me go to, and his friend ran it, so it was like kind of like a safe space that I was allowed to go to. And then
I just saw Kinky Boots for the first time ever, and I like thought of you so much.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
When I was 17, I did an MTV show, got my SAG card. 17, I did Sex and the City. And then...
Wait,
oh my God, you're in that episode of Sex and the City?
The Samantha one?
the Samantha one when she's yelling at them.
You're the one you're in the street?
Wait, I forgot to tell you guys that.
Wait,
What?
how is that you? I thought they were black.
There were
Not
two...
that. There was the
There
one
was
where
one-
Samantha had her own like drag queen who she slept with and then turned into Samantha because of her. Remember?
Oh...
I remember that one, but that's a different one.
Oh, there's three.
Yeah.
How many
So
are there?
there's at least 3 or 4 episodes with drag queens, but the one that I was in was the one where Samantha was moving out. The one that I was in was the one where Samantha was moving out in an apartment, and she moved to the meatpacking district, and there were 4 hookers outside.
Yeah.
Lotilla
Yes.
DeBarge, me, and then somebody else.
Yeah.
4 episodes later, there was the episode where she was yelling out the window at the girls, and she used the T word too then, you know, a lot.
okay.
And,
Right.
you know, Sex and the City was not woke. If you go back and look at it now,
No,
you're like, it's cringeworthy in some spots. I mean, I love it, but...
it's gotten a lot of backlash.
It's
That
definitely
was-
dated now.
yeah, that was 3 different people, and I wasn't one of them. And those 3 girls were all, I think, African American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was on it.
But which one?
I was in red with
window.
thigh-high boots and a bunch of curly hair.
Oh.
That's so cool.
I mean, it was it's cool to. I'm in like the book. I found myself in it. Like,
That's cool. We refer to Sex and the City a lot on here.
Yeah.
I love it.
Because we have Mr. Big like podcasts where we talk about all of our Mr.
Yeah.
Bigs and stuff. So we're very.
I was an extra in the episode where she fell on the runway too. I got to see that.
Oh my
way.
God. That was such a good
cringy.
It was
So
the most
good.
cringe-worthy
But
scene.
I got to meet Kevin Aquan, which was awesome.
Oh my
that's
God.
really
you
cool.
did. Wait, is Kevin Aquan still alive?
dead.
No, he's dead.
Oh my, he
There's
died recently, right?
No.
2000 a while ago.
Oh, it was a while ago?
Yeah. But he
Kevin Aquan.
was really nice, and he said hi, and I'm like, I love your book. I learned about makeup from
Yeah.
it. It
So
was
you
really cool.
seem way too young to have been in Sex and the City. So
I
let's
was
talk about
17.
skincare.
Wait, let's get into beauty because, well, can
Yeah.
we say what you're coming out with? Or
I'm coming out with a makeup line.
tell us about it.
The patent is pending, so we don't know the name yet, but it is drag tested makeup that can withstand anything. I say you could suck dick in a hurricane in it. Like if I blow my nose, the boogers still doesn't come off, and it dries dry, but it looks shiny. The lip product, which you can also use in your eyes or cheek.
You're going to be the next billionaire.
You're going to be the next Kylie.
Billion.
It's so
billion,
funny because when
billionaire.
he told me, I was like, damn, watch out, Jeffree Star. But what I love about Willam is he said there's room enough for everyone at the table. And like
The
that's
world
why
is wide enough
you're
for
the
everybody.
I always struggle with the blowing nose situation because
Yeah,
I do my whole
know.
foundation. I'm like, fuck, I got to blow my nose and do it all over again.
Yeah, that's the bullseye of your face.
I hate when the makeup comes off in the nostrils.
Yeah, that's
and
the
stuff.
red
Yeah.
lines coming out.
So shitty. Oh my gosh.
One of my favorite tricks for that is if you're going to be in makeup for a long time and you need to blow your nose or fuck with the corners of your mouth, just a little
Yeah.
Dior air flash. It's like the spray mist.
Yeah, it's really
Okay.
good. Yeah.
What is more personalized than your DNA? Now we can turn to our genetics for personalized health traits and more. 23andMe allows you to go beyond ancestry to access more personalized insights about you based on your DNA. With more than 125 genetic reports, you can even gain insights about your health traits and more. Receiving your personalized genetic reports is just the beginning. You can take the next steps by talking to your healthcare provider or considering lifestyle changes like adjusting your sleep habits or caffeine consumption. So you can also do a deep sleep report, and I thought this was going to be very interesting to find out because I sleep very deeply and for very long.
You
And
are a great sleeper,
I'm a
Lauren. You
great
could be a
sleeper.
professional sleeper.
Exactly. People
actually.
say, "What are your best qualities?" I can sleep really deeply and for a very long time.
We always said she should do a sleep study, you know, where she like stays in bed for
That
3
is a
weeks.
job, actually. We
I
should do
know.
that as an occupational.
Oh, that would be really good.
Professional sleeper. Lauren, you're next.
Okay, I would love to do it. But the thing is, my genes tell me that I'm actually a very good sleeper. So isn't that interesting?
Cool. So if you guys want to see what your genes can say about your health or your traits and more, all you have to do is buy your health and ancestry service kit today at 23andme.com/get it. That's the number 23andme.com/get it. Again, that's 23andme.com/get it.
So any other makeup tricks that us basic bitches can use?
I just want to make sure everybody's neck matches their face, matches their titties.
That's my biggest issues. I still don't do it. I
My
still don't
test
match
in
my neck.
cosmetology school yesterday says your face makeup should match your what? Like hand, wrist, or neck. And I was like, fuck off. I can't believe that's an actual question.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, the problem is so many people tan, but their face doesn't tan, or they spray tan, but then they wash their face, so their body doesn't match your face, so you have to match your makeup to your tan. There's just so many questions, and the best answer for that is controlling the lighting, because good makeup can be ruined by bad lighting, and average makeup can be enhanced with great lighting. You know? It's all in the light.
What would you refer to? What would you recommend for lash strips that are like good for a natural look, where we don't look like we're wearing them like too much?
You need to look for a strip that has space in between. There's a store in LA on, I think,
Nigel's?
no. Oh God, don't buy a lash.
Is Nigel bad?
No, Nigel's, Namies, and Friends are 3 great beauty supplies in LA, but they're all in the Valley. There's no good beauty supply in Hollywood.
No, isn't that ridiculous?
So
Is that
stupid.
the wackiest
annoying.
thing you've
It's
ever
so
heard?
annoying.
But downtown, I get lashes 12 for $12.
Oh,
And they're
wow.
great. Yeah,
Where?
I'll tell you. It's on... It's on
That's amazing.
Maple, or it's on Broadway and 6. There's a bunch of beauty supply stores, bodega looking places, but they have tons of lashes. You can get 10 for $12 if you're doing the red cherry ones, or you get 12 for $12 for the other ones.
Wow. Okay. Sweet. And now, what do you do for your skincare? Because you have no pores.
Zero pores.
Yeah.
Zero pores.
Yeah, your face is unreal.
was
And
on-
also your eyebrows, like how the fuck?
What?
And your eyes. I hate you.
Okay, stop. I have a guy named Ross who takes care of my skin for me with Botox.
Okay. Yeah, but like, what products do you use on it?
Dove face.
Really?
balm.
So you're just blessed.
That's it?
I wash my face, and then I really make sure to take off my makeup really well. Like, makeup ends up behind your ears, in your ears.
yeah.
Some people just wash their face, and then it's just like a crust, and I'm like, girl, you need to get back in that tub. I use Abilene to take off my makeup. It's like a grease. Make it all greasy, and then it slides off.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to get Abilene. Where do you get that?
Any drugstore.
Any drugstore?
And I was on Accutane 3 times in my 20s, and that helped minimize my pores a lot.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
How
But your
lo-
skin's great, too. Shut
Well,
up.
thank you,
Everybody
but-
here.
How long does it take for you to get in drag?
Depends if I care.
I feel
The
like you
most
always care
caring, the
'cause
most
you,
caring.
You were like, and I'm not just
Remember when I
saying
would
this.
go into a car and then come out and drag magically like a half hour
on a
later?
twin show.
Yeah.
You are like one of the most stunning drag queens I've ever seen. And your fashion is always on point. Like you're always wearing cool designers. You always are wearing pieces that I've never seen on any other drag queen. Like you look better than so many women I've met in my life.
I really like styling. I think it's fun, like piecing together outfits. And I have a giant loft full of drag and like 100 wigs and like probably close to 100 pairs of shoes. I just love it. I don't know. Drag is so fun.
But how long does it take you if you care?
If I care, I'll give myself 2 hours for like head to toe shaving down to walking out the door. But usually for like bingo at Hamburger Mary's, I can get in drag and out the door in an hour. My face takes about 35 minutes.
Do you still do Hamburger Mary's?
Yeah,
I
was just
do.
gonna
I've been
ask
doing
that.
it since 2006. I was a celebrity guest when Nip Tuck was out, and then SAG went on strike, and I was on Craigslist looking for gigs for drag queens, and this bingo thing came up, and I've been doing it even after Drag Race once a month. It's my like I'm not going to hell charity gig.
Cool.
And seriously,
Good
because
to
like
know.
you need I don't like it when girls get on Drag Race, then they stop doing their local gigs or stop
Right.
like giving back just because they're in it for the money at that point.
Yeah, you've been in like an Oscar nominated movie now.
Oscar winning?
Oscar
Is that
winning.
what you meant to say?
Yes. Well, the song one.
Oh,
Oh, we're done. Oh, wow.
Oscar winning movie.
Okay, to change the subject, what day of the week is that? I do want to go one
Yeah.
day. It's so
But
crazy. I've
they
never been to
also do it
Hamburger
on Thursdays and Sundays.
but we want to see you.
Wednesdays.
Okay, cool. So, do you look forward to getting ready every time, or you still get excited about it? It's not exhausting, and you're like, "Oh, I gotta do it again."
Whenever I feel that way in my head, even 5%, I remind myself that I don't have to do it. I get to do it. I have the best job in the world. I loved coloring when I was a kid, and that's basically what I'm doing. I'm coloring on my face and like, gluing sparkly shit to my body, and like I love it. It's great. But anytime you think like, oh, I got to do this fucking like cameo or shout out or
We
some
do
bullshit.
cameos, too.
Yeah, everybody does. We're fucking singing telegrams. I don't do
You
it.
guys are the same person.
Yes.
So funny. Wait, explain what a cameo is to people. that
It's
don't
like
know.
a singing telegram shout out that like all the Real Housewives do, and I don't do it personally, but I do so many other things for money. So it's
It's an app.
It's
You
an app.
download the app, and then there's a whole bunch of like
You just get a
celebrities.
personalized message from your
And people
favorite
pay you. But then sometimes
D-list celebrity.
people can like put it on the internet and take it out of context, and it's weird. So
Wait, really? That happened?
that's why I've chosen to restrain myself from doing it. But yeah.
If we were going to start with a season of RuPaul's Drag Race, should we start from the season one, or like what's the best season we should start with? Because everyone talks about it. Like in my class, I just can't.
I haven't seen them all, but I've heard that season 4 was the first my season was the first really really great one.
Okay.
Because they had a lot of money. Like the promos, once the promos started getting better for the
Yeah.
season, my season had a spaceship. The season before that was on a black backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a great spaceship too. Season 4 was the first one with like reality TV archetypes that made you want to watch, like the goth girl, the show girl, the bitchy California girl, the larger than life black girl. So, yeah. I'd say 4 is really great. 6 is great. 5 is catty.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 is good. So 4, 6, and 8, I'd say start with them and then work your way backwards any way you want it.
And now for a sponsor that I have been on for about 10 years now, Lauren. Just trying to get the extra change in my pocket. I am a babysitter / nanny / pet sitter on care.com. Care.com is the easy and reliable way to find and manage care for everyone in the family. I'm also on care.com for like helping elderly people if they need help around the house and stuff.
Lauren, that's so sweet. I want to do that.
Yeah, you can do that. As the world's largest online destination for finding and managing family care, Care.com helps millions of families find high-quality care for their loved ones and pets, and helps companies support their employees with their home and family responsibilities. Care.com can even help with household payroll and taxes through Care.com Home Pay. And they also run background checks on everyone, so you know that the person you're hiring has no criminal history and they're good to go. And you can set like restrictions, like you want someone that's bilingual, or you want someone that has an undergrad or a master's or just in high school. So you can set all of those and find the perfect caregiver for you.
And also, like, if you're struggling in life to just basically like figure out what you want to do in life, I feel like Care.com is awesome because they're here to change the way the world thinks about care. And I feel like you can easily find a job you love or a job that's like so fulfilling by helping someone else out, but yet you're still making money from it, which is awesome. So whether you're having fun watching a group of kids or you're helping a senior with their day-to-day life, you have the chance to find work that's fulfilling to you and you're earning extra income on the side. So picking up a sitter job here and there is a great source of supplemental income. Plan ahead for times when you think you'll need extra money so you can apply early. Care.com is the world's largest online destination for finding caregiver jobs, providing access to millions of jobs across more than 20 countries. A caregiver is matched to a job literally every 3 minutes. You can find local jobs that work for you, whether it's full-time, part-time, or anytime, so it's easily fit into your schedule. And you guys can find articles and resources on Care.com for tips on working as a caregiver. You can get advice on negotiating pay, how to conduct an interview, setting up a nanny contract, and more. And guys, Care.com is free to join. All you have to do is visit care.com/getit, GETIT, to sign up and find jobs that fit your life. Again, guys, it's free to join. All you have to do is visit care.com/getit to sign up and find jobs that fit your life. So let's talk about RuPaul, because you are the only cast member to date to have been kicked off the show the right term, or disqualified?
Disqualified or kicked? Yeah.
Okay, so what happened?
I tried to read your long tweet, but I just couldn't understand it. Also, because I didn't. Yeah, exactly. Because I didn't understand. I've never seen the show before, so I was like, I'm going to have him explain it.
Right.
When you sign up to do a TV show, they say these are the dates that you're filming. I had already had a show commitment in New York for an off-Broadway show called Jersey Shoresicle because it was 2012.
That is the coolest thing ever. Jared would have been obsessed.
It was great. We were at the Fringe Festival in New York and we won the audience award. The guy that wrote it is named Danny Francesi. He was Damien in Mean Girls.
Okay.
And he was also in Party Monster, which was a movie produced by World of Wonder, who produces Drag Race. So he was actually at one of the episode tapings for Drag Race while I was there and in his cast. And he's like, are you going to be in New York? Are you going to be there? Because it's going to be in like 2 weeks. I was like, I'm leaving the show. Don't worry. He's like, you should stay. You're doing great. I'm like, no, I'm definitely leaving because I knew I wanted to do the show. I thought it was going to transfer to Broadway, in all honesty.
Right.
It didn't. But I figured if I got kicked off or slapped a girl, because that was the last resort. If they didn't kick me off, I was going to hit Fifi for sure. Because everybody wanted to. So I was just going to take one for the country, you know? Plus, I've been to jail for battery. So like, I don't mind fighting a little bit.
Damn.
I was going to do that, but I didn't have to because they eventually did kick me off on their own merit. But that was after me telling them, hey, I broke this rule, I broke this rule, I broke this rule, because I was instigating and just shit stirring.
Got it. Would it have helped your career any by winning?
Can you tell me who won season 4?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Can you tell me who's in A Star Is Born?
Shangela.
And you're redeemed.
Yeah. My thing is Drag Race, the same way that America's Next Top Model purports to find the next big thing. They found America's Next Drag Superstar that year. Did she win? Nope. But you know, that's just my bitchy wrap up of it.
Same thing with American Idol.
Yeah. But actually, same with
Jennifer
you.
Hudson.
You didn't win.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you were to go around and be like, who won Crystal's this season of The Bachelor, they probably wouldn't be able to name her. But
yeah,
I don't know, Crystal. I used to smoke it.
Okay, I have 2 more questions, and then you guys can do your last questions. Growing up in Philadelphia, it's like a real like man's city. It sounds like your dad was pretty supportive, though. So how was it growing up in the city like that and like coming out about your desires to do drag?
Dad was from Jersey. My mom was from Philly, but they were cool. My dad had a gay brother and a gay sister.
Oh, look at
that.
that.
And my mom had a brother who we think did drag. So I was lucky.
That is
I did not have to deal with shit when I wanted to get, I was done at high school at 16 and my parents helped me get emancipated because by then we lived in Florida and I wanted to move back up to New York and Philly and like try to be an actor and so they were cool.
So your parents helped you get emancipated. Wow. What part of Florida did you live
Cocoa
in?
Beach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
that
you
you
got
could go
emancipated
up
so you
and do
could
it.
go do your own thing.
Not
and
like
work
you didn't
on
get
your
along
own.
with them.
No,
but
we're great. They come to my shows now. But like you needed a parent on set if you were underage.
Yeah,
if you
okay.
weren't, if you didn't have papers. So
We
that makes
were reading about
sense.
Emancipated. We're like, I wonder what happened.
I know. We're like,
yeah,
what
no, it's
happened?
not. It's not dishy, and people ask me about it all the time online. They're like, "I want to do drag, but my parents hate it. I want to get emancipated." I'm like, "Honey, you need to get your shit in order." I've been working since I was 12. I'd been saving to get out of Florida because I knew what I wanted to do with my life. And by the time I was 16, I had done high school in 3 years, which is easy in public school. You just take some summer courses.
Oh, wow. You just like
optional
cranked
electives.
through it.
I
It
did.
wasn't like you got your GED.
No, I said, I'm fulfilling all my requirements. I went into my principal's office and I was like, I just finished my English 4 at summer school. Like, oh, you can't do that. You can only take that course if you failed it. I was like, show me that in the book. Show me that where.
Seriously?
I did the course.
Yeah, good job.
And it went to the school board, and then they had to give me my diploma.
That's awesome.
Good for
That's
you.
incredible.
Never take no for an answer.
Yeah,
I agree.
Where does your internal
Unless it's consent, and then consent is super sexy. But so are surprises.
Dude, we're gonna start like video recording. Like, say yes.
God.
You know.
Funny.
So
Right?
funny.
Yeah.
Scary.
were you always this driven, like always, or do you feel like something happened that kind of?
I mean,
like,
at
lit a fire
16, it
under your
seems
butt?
like you were just always
I
driven.
don't know. I was a fat kid, and I always liked attention. I was always like cracking jokes and like, he did something funny. Give him a cookie. Like that kind of thing.
Oh, that makes me sad. Could we talk about body image for a second, though?
Sure.
How big were you? How much weight did you lose? And how did that affect who you are today?
My biggest weight, which was when I was a center, I used to play football. Pop
Wow.
Warner, all that.
Who would
I
have
was-
thought? That's kind of awesome.
207 and 5'3".
That's
And then they moved me to guard or tackle. They wanted me to play both or at least learn both. And I was like, so the boys aren't touching my butt anymore? Basically, in my head, I'm like, this lost all the appeal. I just have to run around and hit
Quarterback
people.
used to touch your
Consent
butt.
is sexy.
Was the
Yeah.
quarterback hot?
Oh, they always are.
I know.
You know they are.
It's like a requirement. I'm like, how does that
It
happen?
is a requirement because the popular guy in school
Is the
always gets
hottest,
the
gets
quarterback
quarterback.
position,
Yeah.
and then they
It's
grow
so
up
insane.
to still have that like ingrained in them.
And then they're so confident and sexy.
Damn
it.
Wait, were you
Sit on my
always
face.
out? Like, when did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you couldn't hide this.
Yeah.
I was always out. In my 7th or 8th grade picture, I had a gay pride necklace on.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's so
I gave no
cute.
fucks. And my sister was a year ahead of me and really popular, so it was cool.
Are you close to their sister? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't get much shit from nobody.
That's amazing.
What are the biggest misconceptions about drag queens?
That we want you to touch our wigs. So many people. Can I touch your hair? Can I try your wig on? No.
Yeah. What?
Can I have a hug? No. You know what? Like when
just wanna be held.
I styled my look tonight and did my hair and painted my face, I didn't say, let me restyle it with 500 people's faces and arms when you try to hug me. Don't ever touch me above my neck.
Yeah.
Ever.
It's like-
unless
yeah.
there's also a penis involved.
you know when you like get all dolled up and you're walking out the door, you're like feel like you can't move anything
Yeah,
below your shoulder.
You
Your
got
shoulders.
you got a maxi pad in your
Everything
armpit.
is like I can't move. Sorry, I look so good right
I know.
now.
It's like, could you run up and get me that? Fuck no. I'm not going upstairs.
Yeah,
right
and it's
now.
like I don't want any flyaways. Like my hair is in position.
If I'm driving somewhere and I have a wig on, I don't check my blind spot. I just speed up. Because turning your head, you rat your hair up in the seatbelt.
we all
that.
know that feeling.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Sorry, traffic. I have a gig.
I want to talk about wigs because where do you get them? Do you make them yourself? And I feel like they're like, how do you pick the right wig for you?
I used to do a lot of hair myself, but now I find stuff and then I get it refronted, which is you just put a different frontal on it. There's a great wig maker named Bobby Pins in New York. There's a good guy
Bobby
out here
Pins.
yeah,
That's so
right.
cute.
He's a drag queen too. There's a good one
amazing.
named Zach Killian out here. There's another guy named James Gemini. There's a great lady named Hachu who slays a piece. And they're always tagged to my Instagram with whatever wig I'm wearing.
Yeah.
But yeah, good wigs make a
What
lot
is
of
your
difference.
Instagram for everyone listening?
Willam.
Okay.
Easy. Found it really simple. Last night when I was doing my research, I was watching a YouTube montage of you like I don't know what it was. You'd have to tell me. You're standing there making fun of a whole bunch of people in this
That's
little
just my
video.
daily life.
That's just you're standing there making fun of people.
It's a show called Beatdown that I've been doing for like 5 years.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's kind of like The Soup, right? But you're just making fun
Oh
of
my god,
things you
it's
find on the
so
internet.
Yes.
funny that I can't really comprehend how funny it is. I go, ha, that's funny. Because I just can't laugh out loud because it's just that funny.
Yeah.
Do you think that you are able to get away with saying mean things about people because like that's drag queens like kind of are abrasive and sassy like that? Because when
If I said someone who's like 20
something-
pounds overweight, I go, she's fat, I would never live it down.
I have some rules with comedy. I don't go for things that people would correct if they could probably. I don't make fun of people's teeth, age, or their weight.
Genius.
Unless it is involved directly with something else I'm making fun of. But I'll never say about a girl or a guy, they're fat, just to try to get a joke. It's low-hanging comedy fruit, and I could do better than that, I think. Have I? Yes. Do I make it a practice? No. But there's always something deeper that I think that you can make fun of on anybody.
Okay.
And drag, you do get away with more because you're wearing a wig and you're like, inherently it's a clown without a nose, I think. I really don't know what inherently means, but I've been saying it a lot. By the way.
That's exactly
I'm
what
like,
I
what
mean.
is inherently?
I don't know.
On the
It's just
inside.
like
on the
a
inside,
sum
like-
up word where you're like, well,
Inherently, it
Inherently.
means-
the foundation of.
goodbye.
It's so true. I say so many words where I'm like, I hope that's what
I
the
think I
meaning
say
was.
inherently
I
all the
don't
time,
know.
too.
Yeah.
I say inherently. I type it all the time. I feel like it makes me sound smarter.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
So funny. Like
Wow.
it's like the makeup of. Okay.
I got all
Anything
my
else?
questions.
I don't think I-
Wait, we have so much more.
Really?
Yeah, I mean-
Yes. Were you always? Did you like train? Because you're so fucking funny. So is that just who you are? Did you like have comedy training? Do you have to be funny to be a drag queen? I have like millions of questions.
Okay, there you go.
I'll go down the line. You don't have to be funny to be a drag queen. Some drag queens never even get on a mic, so you don't know. Humor helps in every profession and situation, especially when there's eyes on you. So it's a bonus if you are. Have I always been funny? I don't know. Some people
Probably.
hate me, but you know, my report card said I had an attitude problem and I talk too much. They're not wrong. I bit a kid once too. Whatever.
God.
He deserved it. I'm still mad.
The story.
In my head, I'm like, who bit Beyonce? Like when people bite people, I'm like, how?
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
I forget what your third question was, but
Well, you basically answered it. Like, do you have to be funny to be a drag queen? Were you inherently funny?
I mean, it helps
Because you're so quick.
Yeah, it
Willam.
helps being quick on a mic, dealing with a lot of variables that can happen in a drag show. Like somebody shit themselves at Mickey's, and a girl in white jeans slipped in it and then went on stage with poop all over her leg.
God.
Like this happens at drag shows. This is where we work.
Oh my god.
What's the craziest story?
I
Is it-
slept with a reality TV producer who produced Untucked, which was like the after show for Drag Race, my season. And while we were getting kicked out of the bar where he fucked me in the bathroom, he threw a glass at a drag queen on stage named Raven, who now does RuPaul's makeup. And we got kicked out of the bar. And it was great. And the show producer for actual RuPaul's Drag Race, not the Untucked show that his friend did that was fucking me, he looked at me outside when we all got kicked out. I was like, we should go back in. We're getting birthday shots. It's not even my birthday. I was full boots. I'm like, I was born in June. I'm a Cancer. And he looks at me in the face and says, you are a Cancer. And I was like, oh, you can read, you faggot. Put on a wig because she can read.
God.
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing that has happened
I think the
at a
shitting on
drag
the
club?
floor
I mean,
maybe.
was that the craziest? Because that's like pretty nuts.
I mean, I just put something up on my YouTube. This drag queen is like making an entrance through like these curtains, and she just barely gets her head out, and then the whole proscenium falls, and she just looks and rolls her eyes, and she keeps doing her number. It's like anytime a drag queen falls, something breaks, someone fights. That's what my YouTube is all about, and making people laugh. So that's why I've been doing that show for so long.
It's so funny.
Thanks.
How has your life changed, or has it changed since you were in A Star Is Born?
Hasn't. I don't have an agent. I went on one audition this pilot season. I didn't hire a publicist, which was a mistake. I didn't have the money for it. So my life hasn't changed much. I got to go to a few cool parties, and I can say that I'm friends with, Eddie Griffin and Gaga and Bradley Cooper now, which
So
is neat.
insane.
Yeah.
What is your ultimate goal?
To be happy.
Okay.
Ask your
Yeah.
inside actress.
That's what my parents used to always when people would ask what's Will gonna be when he grows up, and my mom would always just say, I hope he's happy.
I love your mom.
She's fucking great.
I love her.
Nice. Do you feel like you're at that place right now, or are you always? Because for me, I feel like sometimes your dreams change. Like you always want something so bad, maybe to be like in an Oscar-winning movie, but then are you like, okay, well, what's next, or do you stay in that contentment?
Stars Born did change me mentally a little bit because it went from I was a loser on a reality show to now my biggest credit is an Oscar-winning movie, and to not win Drag Race. It wasn't hard for me, but for other people, they look at you a certain way. Like, you didn't win. But then when you get selected to be Lady Gaga's friend in a movie, I'm glad. And I'm glad my 17 years of acting eventually led to that. And I feel like everything after this is gravy. Because I was in a movie, and not only was I in a movie, it's a good movie, and I was kind of funny in it, and
you were really
you were
funny.
so memorable.
Thank you.
You were a scene stealer.
Thanks.
Like 100%.
That's why they wanted to cut it.
I don't know, but
Saved it.
I definitely am a lot happier now than I was before it because everything after this is gravy. Cool. Because I got this. This movie's going to live on forever.
Yeah, it's timeless.
I'm literally recutting my reel today to hopefully try to get an agent. People have been offering me more, like people I've known for decades have been like, you should talk to this guy and this guy. Now they're willing to introduce me to people. Like,
that's cool.
If you don't have an agent, how'd you get the part?
I have a manager who does my YouTube stuff that they got the breakdowns, and the casting people knew that they wanted to see certain people for the roles, I guess. And I was one of them. And
I feel like when you're doing something you're an expert at that level, it's like people come to you at that point. They're like, we want you in this.
Oh, sometimes they say, can you come coach the straight guy who's doing it? Oh. And that's like, wow.
It's like, wow.
That happens
so
a
annoying.
lot.
That's how
We'd love to have you come in and consult. It's like, oh, really? I'd love to.
As your face is getting really red.
Yeah. Can you see all the whites around my eyes? I'm so pleased. Sure, straight person. I'll help you pander.
Do you ever, because you work so hard, and I feel like I get a lot of stuff on my own. I'm just starting out, but I'm like, do I want an agent when I feel like I get so much stuff on my own? Do you ever feel like that where you're like, do I really want to give someone else a cut?
I think the key with finding the correct agent is I've always found someone who came after me, or in management in general. They wanted me. It wasn't me searching for them. Right. So I knew that they were passionate about like working with me, and it became a team thing. Like you eat what you kill. Like if they got me something, I would pay them. But if I got something on my own and they didn't touch it,
then you don't
but
pay them.
If I wanted them there as like that backup support, like if something was weird in the contract or I needed to get out of it because like I had another gig that was better, I would loop them in for sure. It's nice to have a team where you feel like I don't work for you, you don't work for me, we work together.
We're doing it together.
Do you ever sell Instagram ads, or is that insulting?
Instagram ads?
Yeah,
like
sponsor. Do sell products on Instagram because you have a lot of followers.
I'm not a flat tummy tea girl.
Okay,
but I did get a. You know what? I did do a flat tummy tea thing.
You are a flat tummy tea girl.
No,
I did it
they
3
didn't
years
approve
ago.
it.
They didn't?
No. They didn't approve it, and then they wanted me to reshoot something. I'm like, I already threw it all out. I didn't want it. And I think they didn't approve it because I kept saying, I'm a tea girl.
That's funny.
I know, but
I
they
would
didn't
buy it from you.
I know.
from you.
I hate when they try and like make no. Wait,
They try to be too serious.
What
about
does
it.
your DM inbox look like? Like, do you get
God.
stories?
Yeah, I don't really check. I mean, I'll look at it sometimes just to delete, and then to see if like anything I need, or if I'm needing weed in whatever town I'm in. But other than that, I don't look because it's too many just people.
Yeah,
too many things. You can't let everybody access you from every point available. Right. Otherwise, all you're doing is checking messages and inboxes the whole time. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
100%.
Yeah.
Sorry, can't do it. If you don't got a blue tick next to your name, I ain't checking it on Twitter. I only got so much time, and I don't want to be chained to a phone. I want to live my life. I live in LA. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
What advice do you have for someone that maybe wants to pursue drag but is too scared?
Don't. If you're scared, everybody can see it on your face in the audience. You need to be sure of everything because that unsureness or that scarcity, fear. That's
Inherently.
The word. Yeah, fuck off. All of that shows on your face when you're performing, and you can't hide it. And the worst, I'll give one piece of advice: if you're scared or unsure, make sure you know what you're doing with your hands at all times, because in an audition or in a performance, your appendages are the things that I think react the weirdest to an unsure situation. Like if your hands don't know what they're doing, people are looking at it, or you're not sure with your feet or where to move, or so just, I would say practice.
Okay.
Or don't. I don't practice anything.
Yeah.
But that kind of works for me that I don't care.
My last question for you is dating advice for single people like me in LA.
Smell it before you suck it. Because sometimes it can look great, but then you're like, oh, God.
Lauren's going to make that the title now.
Yeah.
Because, like, sometimes you'll be blowing a guy and you're like, what is that?
I tell you guys, smelly dick.
I've never
But here's the thing. Sometimes
I've
the
only-
dick is fine, but you can smell the back door from around the front door. You're like, you washed your dick, but you didn't wash your ass. The worst is when a dick tastes like cologne, like a guy sprayed cologne.
Ew, like Old
You're
Spice.
Oh, I wear Old Spice deodorant, though.
Soul Spice cologne is the best smelling.
I don't wear
No,
cologne,
it's so
but
douchey
I wear
smelling.
their
Deodorant.
deodorant.
Deodorant's all you need.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I think Charity is this.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, their tagline is, if your grandpa hadn't worn this, you wouldn't be here. And so it's kind of brilliant.
Wait, that's such a good tagline.
Yeah, they thought of it, not me.
Wait, that really is it?
Yeah, it says it on
They're
there.
genius.
Genius.
It's true.
Right?
The question that I wrap up all our profile podcasts with is just from James Lipton from Inside the Actors Studio. If God does exist, what do you hope he says when you reach the pearly gates?
Oh, wow. Shit. What would he say to me?
Like,
you
the
want
pressure's
him to
on
say?
because you're
He
so
would
good
probably
at singers.
be like, where'd you get that hair? Or, I don't know, do you have a wristband? I'd be like, just tell me where the Gettys are sitting. Because I want to go hang out with my friends in heaven, because Nats and August and Gigi and all the Gettys and Tiffany and Ari, they're like the most fun family that I hang out with in LA. They're
really
super
funny.
duper.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And on that note,
and on
Oh,
that
wait,
note-
there's one thing that I don't get, though.
Oh, we didn't do your I don't
we
get.
didn't do your I don't get.
Yeah, people that don't floss.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're literally...
Why are you looking like that? You don't floss.
Really?
You guys,
Yeah,
it's so
Jared-
disgusting.
There's literally
It's
food
like-
rotting in your mouth right
I
now.
know it's there.
and it turns brown. It's like literally rot.
Our hygienist says that as long as you're using electric toothbrush, it's a lot less imperative.
No, guys. There's like literally lines and holes in there. You got to get it out.
yeah.
All right, so our bad.
So-
Looks like Jared's home. All right, we're gonna
Is there
wrap
Maybe he
it
can
up
teach you
now.
to floss, skank. Wow.
He flosses like once a week. He thinks that's enough. You think
Ew.
that's enough?
I don't care. I'd watch him do anything.
Better than none of it.
You did okay on that one, girl.
All right. So,
Is there anything you want to promote where we can
Yeah,
find
where
you?
we can find you, what projects you have coming up.
Check out my YouTube. Check out HGTV for my episode of House Hunters. And
What's your YouTube channel?
It's Willam. I don't know. Just search Willam.
Okay.
It's a weird channel because I did it when I in like 2008.
Yeah.
No extra I because my name is Willam and so, blah blah blah. And listen to my Race Chaser podcast with Alaska Thunderfuck if you want to know more about Drag Race.
Yes.
So
Yay,
good.
We
Thank
love
you so much.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming
It was
on.
really
You're
great.
the best.
Yeah.
Mwah.
No problem. Bye.
Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.